Alrighty, so what comes next on the legal front? CNN legal analyst Shan Wu with us now. He's a defense attorney and former federal prosecutor. Shan, thank you so much for being with us. Is there any disqualifier that you see right at the get-go with Kushner?
No, and to Walter's point, having been through quite a few background investigations myself, there are no automatic disqualifiers. The agents who do the interviews always tell the interviewee, I'm just here to collect information. I'm not making any judgments. Those judgments are made by higher-ups. In this instance for Kushner, obviously the highest of the higher-ups, the president made the judgment. There's nothing automatically disqualifying. It's really the matrix of everything coming together that causes the people making the decision. Should this person be trusted? Could they be compromised? And that is what's so troubling here. Because there's no automatic disqualifier, we have to infer that something about this whole picture was deeply alarming to people like Kelly and the intelligence establishment.
Yeah, and Shan, I think that's actually a question I have. For John Kelly and for White House counsel Don McGahn reportedly to make contemporaneous memos of this, we don't know what they were seeing, but how serious does that kind of imply things are to you?
It's very serious. You don't do a memo like that unless you are concerned to make sure you're on the record that there's a problem. And you know, in this, as in so many of the Trump issues, all roads lead back to counterintelligence. So they would be, in my opinion, making those contemporaneous memos because they want the record to show that they raised the alarm. They're worried that this person could be compromised, that they could end up being a foreign asset. That's what my inference is for them taking that highly unusual step to go on the record that way.
So let me ask you about the Manafort sentencing. How likely is it that he will serve a longer term here, or what do you think the prospects are for his team to be able to reduce the sentence?
I think the team is taking a good focus with Judge Ellis. The sentencing guidelines, just to remind all of us, they're calculated by the arm of the court, the probation office, and it's sort of a mathematical calculation. Both sides get a chance to dispute it, to make some arguments about it, but at the end of the day, it's a recommendation that's made based on a scoring of points. So what the Manafort team is doing here is they're using an argument called proportionality, and they're arguing that when you compare his history, his criminal history, lack thereof, his life, what other people receive for crimes like this, they're arguing that the actual math that comes out isn't reflective of what he should get. That's the disproportionality argument. I think they'll find some sympathy in Ellis listening to that. He has had some concerns he expressed previously that the whole prosecution was more geared towards the president than for Manafort. So I think they could make some ground here. And I think for Manafort's team, if they get that sentence down to 10 years or single digits, that's a big win for them. I mean, the problem, though, is for Manafort himself, at his age with his health concerns, any sentence of years is quite problematic.
Shan, some Democratic lawmakers saw the filing last night as, quote, fishing for a pardon. They noticed some terminology that you might have heard in the Oval Office or from the Oval Office at some point. Do you think that was a strategy here from the defense team, which is the team is very well regarded in D.C.?
Right. I think they're keeping that strategy in mind. I think the pardon issue for them, that's a Hail Mary pass. They need to make some plays that will gain some ground. That's what they're trying to do. They have to focus on Ellis at the moment. So I read most of what they were doing as focused on Judge Ellis. They're preserving the possibility of the pardon, and I think the real pardon message isn't in that memo. The real pardon message is, what is it that Manafort did not talk about? What is it he tried to lie about? If there's a coded message, that's where it is for Trump's people to say, look, he was still trying to protect certain things. You should take notice of that.
Yeah. Shan Wu, decoding all things for us. Really appreciate it, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Shan.
to see you. Thanks.